There is a photograph by Japanese photographer Takeshi Kameyama, a small green and white train crossing an arched iron bridge. Deep snow, still water below reflecting everything perfectly. I had been looking at that photograph for years before I came to Japan. Today was the day I finally went to go stand in the place where it was taken. I brought the wrong shoes. We will get to that. Aizu-Wakamatsu runs two loop buses, the Hikara-san going counterclockwise and the Akabe going clockwise, that connect the station to every major historical site. Day pass is 600 yen. You get on, you get off wherever you want, you get back on. This is the correct way to see this city, and I cannot improve on it. If you have any interest in Japanese history at all, and specifically the end of the samurai era, Aizu-Wakamatsu is not optional. This city was at the center of the Boshin War of 1868, the civil conflict that ended the Tokugawa shogunate and brought Japan into the modern period. Tsuruga Castle was the last holdout. The people here chose loyalty over survival and lost, and the city has been thinking about that ever since. You feel it when you walk around. It is not dramatic or performed, it is just present. The castle you see today is a reconstruction. The original was demolished after the war. It is still beautiful. The museum inside tells the full story of the region in a way that is genuinely absorbing, which I was not expecting. I went in planning to spend 40 minutes and stayed for 2 hours. The top floor has a view over the city and mountains that on a clear winter day is very hard to leave. After the castle, I took the loop bus to Higashiyama Onsen, which is a hot spring town a few kilometers from the city center. Most of the businesses were closed when I visited. Several of the footpaths were shut. It was very quiet and a little empty in the way that off-season places sometimes are. I liked it anyway. The main street follows the Yu River, and walking alongside it in the snow, steam rising from the ground, the sound of water under the ice, was peaceful in a way that I did not know I needed until I was already in it. The off-season version of a place is the honest version. No performance, just the place itself, resting. In winter only, there is a direct bus from Aizu-Wakamatsu Station to Michi-no-Eki Mishima-juku, the roadside rest station closest to the Tadami River Bridge viewpoint. I took it. I was the only passenger the entire round trip. The driver did not seem surprised by this. I got the impression he was used to it. I arrived at the rest station and immediately made my biggest mistake of the day, which was that I had not brought microspikes. The path to the viewpoint was extremely icy. I managed to reach viewpoint B, which is still beautiful and still absolutely worth the trip. Viewpoint D, the top, the best angle, the one in all the photographs, was another 5 minutes up the hill. Without microspikes, it was not safe to attempt. I stood at viewpoint B and watched other people with microspikes walk past me toward the top with the specific energy of someone who has made a preventable error and has nobody to blame. And then the train came. Small and green and white, crossing the bridge slowly, exactly as it does in every photograph I had spent years looking at. The snow, unfortunately, had not spent years looking at those same photographs. It had not snowed for a couple of days. The mountains were patchy. The pristine white landscape I had built up in my imagination was more of a gray-white suggestion. The bridge was still extraordinary. The train was still extraordinary. I am going back in better snow conditions. This is already decided. That evening, I had made a reservation at Tsuruga Onsen, which I had specifically sought out for Aizu local cuisine. It is small and deeply Japanese in character, with a menu full of regional dishes that you will not find in Tokyo or Kyoto or anywhere on the standard tourist circuit. The elderly waiter came to my table and explained each dish carefully. Where it came from, what it was, how it was prepared, unhurried and genuinely attentive in a way that made the whole meal feel like something other than just eating. This kind of service is one of the things about Japan that I find very hard to explain to people who have not experienced it. It is not performative, it is just care. The horse sashimi here is completely different from what you get in Tokyo. Cut much thicker, no tendons. Tender in a way that surprised me even though I knew what I had ordered. Everything I ate was excellent. If you visit Aizu-Wakamatsu, make a reservation here. Tomorrow, a snow village, a winter sightseeing bus, and a leek used as a spoon. Subscribe. I will see you there.